In this video, we're going to assemble the picture frame. A couple of things that you guys will need. You'll need to have your 4 frame pieces, and I have those lined up upside down, sitting on the table. You'll need a drill with a long square tipped bit on it. You'll need a clamp, and you'll also need pocket holes and a bottle of glue. So let's start with this joint here. I'm going to slide my frame off to the side. I'll put some wood glue on one side of the joint. Take your finger and spread the glue around. It should cover the entire joint. Now, this is end grain meaning that it's the end of the board. So this tends to absorb glue a little bit faster. So you may need to put a little bit extra glue on. But again, uh, same thing on the air board as well, just so it covers. There should be no dry spots, but we certainly don't need a glue Lake Michigan here either. Just enough glue to cover is plenty. Once you have the glue on, line up your board on the table and line up those miters so they are exactly, totally perfect. Once they're perfect, take your clamp and clamp it down right to the end of the table like this. Again, these things have to be perfect. The purpose of the clamp is to hold this joint together while you're putting the screws in. Let's take a closer look. So you can see the clamp is clamping the boards down to right to the table. The center of the clamp is centered right on that joint. And this outside corner is perfect. Now you can take your pocket hole screw, put it on the end of the drill, and put that drill inside of the pocket hole and drill it in. Something you want to avoid. Don't put your hand right here because if you slip off the drill, you'll put the drill right in your hand. So you can put your hand over here or up here, and then go ahead and put that pocket hole in. You may hear the drill start to tick, like tick, 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 tick. That's normal. That's what it does. You want to drill in until the screw seats all the way down. If you listen carefully, it started making a different sound, like a faster tick. That means the screw is all the way in. Same thing in the other pocket hole joint. Let's set up the rest of the joints the same way. Glue, clamp, and 2 screws. The next joint here is set up. I have glue in the joint. The joint is clamped down tight to the table and even. Now I'll put a couple screws in. Again, listen for that difference in sound. That's how you know the screws are in all the way. Now on this last joint, I'm going to need to put glue on both screw or on both faces at the same time. If it doesn't quite fit right now, see, it doesn't quite fit right now, that's okay. We'll fix that later. So we take some glue. I'm going to put it on both ends of my board here. And I'm going to get one side lined up. I'm going to line up the corner to this one side. And I'm going to clamp that one down to the table. So now I can adjust this one here as I clamp this one. Just that outside corner of this one, I'm going to get lined up. So just this outside corner is lined up, and that's okay. Take one pocket hole screw. I'm going to put that in the outside hole. Just snug that up. That brings these together. Next, I'll move my clamp to the other joint. In this one, I'm going to try and move a little bit so that I can line it up before I clamp it. If you're having trouble lining this last joint up, here's what'll help. We can take one of the bar clamps, place it over the top of the frame like this, and just give it a little bit of a squeeze. And that'll help us line up that last miter joint. Then we can clamp it down. I'll put 2 screws in and then come back to the last joint and put the other screw in there. So after you have all those pocket screws in, you should have 4 joints that are very tightly placed together. There should be no gaps. The way to make sure you have no gaps is to get those clamps on in the correct place and have it lined up before you put screws in. So if you need help with clamps, make sure you ask before you put the screws in. Once screws start going, it's hard to change things.